Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So before moving on to the second part of the network programming, I was just thinking that there's one important thing which I really need to share, and we are going to use that same thing in the second part of our network programming. So if you are reading like files or the network data in Rust without using the buffer reader, then your program might be like it may be doing so many system calls, like the thousands of unnecessary system calls. And in today's video I am going to explain what is buffer reader and what's the importance of buffer reader and when to use it. So let me first show you the code example without using the buffer reader. So let's create the main function first. Okay, so we have created the main function. Now what we need the file here, and file name should be, I think, data.txt will be fine. So now we have the file. We need the buffer here. Buffer starting values, initial values will be 0, and length will be 512 bytes. So now we have the file, so we can easily call the read method and pass the mutable buffer, and if it's greater than 0 then we will simply print that. And I think what we can do, we can easily use this 0 index and also so this is the code without using the buffer reader. And as you can clearly see, so this read function, what it does, it reads 1 bytes at a time, and there will be so much, like so many system calls this read function method will do. And also one more thing, as you can see, we have used it inside the, like you use it with the while loop, so there will be so much system calls. And also instead of what this read does, without using the buffer reader, it reads the tiny chunks from the OS. So it made a system call for every 1 byte of the, like read 1 byte of a data. So this read 1 bytes at a time. So what buffer reader does, it reads the large chunks at once and serve it from the memory. So reading the data from the memory is pretty faster as compared to reading from the, like making a system call to the OS. Okay, so let me show you the example using the buffer reader. So we have the file. Now what we need the reader here, and we are of course going to use the buffer reader, not reader. And for the new part, we are going to pass the file here, and also we don't need the mutable file. So now we have the file reader. Now we need the mutable buffer here. This time we are going to define it as a string. We have the reader now. For the reader part, we are going to use the read to string method, and we will be passing the buffer and just print the buffer. So this is the complete code with using the buffer reader. As you can see, we have used the buffer reader. So there, in this case, with this code, with this approach, we have made the so much lesser calls to the system calls. So the system calls will be much lesser as compared to the previous code. And also one more thing, which is the important one, as the common use case, the reading anything line by line. Okay, so let me give you example for reading the data by line. So for that we can say that we have the for and we have the reader. Okay, and what we can do now, okay, so this is the code. We have used the for loop for reading the data line by line, and as you can see, this line method is only available when you are using the buffer reader, and this is ideal for the, like reading the logs or the CSV or any configuration files. Okay, so also one more thing, if we the performance comparison should be like that. If without the buffer reader, your system calls will be much higher, but your program's speed, like the performance, will be much lower. And if you are using the buffer reader, then your performance speed will be much higher, but you have the very low system calls. And keep in mind that system calls are pretty expensive thing. Okay. Also, one more thing. I think in one line I can say that the bigger the file size is, the more performance difference you will see. Okay. And also, let me show you the, I think, what we can do. Let me give you the example using the network programming as well. Let's say we have this stream here, and we are going to use the TCP stream connect, and we are using the local IP address, and port will be 7878. And for the reader part, what we are going to use, of course, the buffer reader, and we need to pass the stream. Okay, so this code is used for the network programming, as you can see. Also, one more thing, the reading data from the network reads are so much expensive as compared to the file reads. So the buffer reader should be mandatory in the while working with the network programming. Okay. And also, what else, so buffer reader doesn't change your logic, it changes the performance. So if you are reading files, logs, or the network data in Rust, then the buffer reader should be your default choice. And that's what we are going to use in the second part of the network programming, the buffer reader. And we will refactor our code to make it much faster, to make it better. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.